In this video, I'm going to share with you one of the recordings I made regarding teaching my students about growth mindset. The topic is seeing past your current circumstances and your current identity to become the person that you want to become. But before we jump into that recording, let's play that intro. So here we go. This is lesson 8 out of 25 on growth mindset. The title of this lesson today is See Beyond, or the lesson today is See Beyond Your Current Self to Opportunity of Becoming the Best Version of Yourself. So we've gone through 1 through 7, and if you haven't noticed, they're kind of building upon each other, taking you through this process. And so number 8 is this, is that you got to develop the habit of seeing beyond where you're just at. There's a saying that you can't see the forest through the trees. And I'm not sure if you ever have something going on in your life where it's just so stressful and you can never see a way out of it. And that's all you know is that problem. If all you see is the problem, it's hard to see the solution. And if you focus on who you are now, and that's what you're focused on, it's hard to see where you're going to become or who you're going to become. I remember I listened to, I think it was a podcast or something, and this guy was talking about how we have different outfits. And with different outfits, you carry yourself differently. Your personality changes somewhat. So for example, if you're going to the beach, you have one outfit. You go to the beach because that's what your activities are going to be, the beach. And how you act at the beach might be different how you act at school. At school, you might be dressed a different way. If you go in for your job, whatever the job might be, you put on their uniform because that is what you're going to be doing for that moment. And so you can change beyond your current situation just based upon the way you dress. And I listen, I go, that's kind of interesting. And so for a while, what I did there is I have 3 different kinds of rings. We have this ring, another one is like a blue one, and then my other gold one that I have. So 3 different rings. And what I was doing for a while to remind myself that I can see beyond my current self, that whoever I think I am, my personality and all that, it's mold. You can mold it, you can change it, you can mold it to whatever you want it to be. And the rings, every time I put a new ring on, it caused me to think a second about who do I actually want to be. And I can change myself accordingly to that. So for a while I was going through different rings as a reminder to do that, a physical reminder to do that. But here's what I want you to get from this. In order to see beyond your current self, it's a mind, I don't know how many times I say it, it's a mind game. It really is. The most important thing you can do in life is learn how to control your mind. Because if you control your mind, you can control your emotions, you can control your feelings, you can control everything. If you understand that happiness and everything else is all up here, it's how you think about things. And so here's an example. This is how powerful your mind is. So if you want to become a person, don't think about why you can't be that person or I'm not that person. Think about actually being that person, whatever that is. And high school is so shy in high school, so shy in high school. And if I would just focus on I'm shy, I'd be shy the entire life. And that's still who my personal trait is. That's kind of who I'm at the core. But knowing that, I know I can think beyond that. And I can, if I need to in the moment, get beyond that point of me being shy and make friends and everything else. And so you got to think about that. And so whatever your mind focuses on, that is where it goes. I mean, I used to work at Geico Auto Insurance, and they always talked about this statistic. They said that when people, for example, let's say they lost control of their car, and they would basically drive off the road, and there'd be like trees, right, spaced apart. But it seemed like almost every time they went off the road, they ran into a tree. And they're trying to figure out, why did you run into that tree? You have a tree every maybe 200 feet. You have so much more space between the trees, you can easily drive between the trees versus actually hitting a tree. So why are people always hitting trees? And what they realize is, because the moment the car went off the road, what were they thinking? I don't want to hit a what? Oh my gosh, there's a tree there, I don't want to hit the tree. And they focus on the what? The tree. And because they focus on the tree, in that split second, that's where the car went. Same thing with you guys. Whatever you think about is where your mind will go. Have you ever gone to bed at night thinking about something? whatever it is. I don't know, a problem in your life. And then all you're dreaming about the entire night is that problem, right? You have dreams about it one way or the other. The mind works, even when you don't think it is, the mind's always thinking about what you're putting its attention towards. And another thing is, try this one here. You haven't done it yet, or maybe your parents have, but my wife and I went shopping for cars. And we're looking at different kind of cars, but then we started talking about Tesla. And you're like, nah, we decided not to get a Tesla, by the way, but we started talking about Tesla. And we said, you know what, I don't know, it'd be kind of cool to be one of the people that have a Tesla. But the moment we started thinking about Teslas, we started looking around, guess what we saw everywhere? Teslas. They were there all the time, but because we weren't looking for them, because our mind wasn't focused, we never saw them. But the moment we put our mind to focus looking for Teslas, they were everywhere. Everywhere. And so a lot of you have been asking me about these hearts. You guys know these hearts I'm talking about? So if you guys look, Tardy? All right, let's put it. And so these hearts I put on the roof, you guys have been asking me for a long time about these hearts. And I told you, don't worry about it. So for example, you looked up here, you guys remember these? All right. This was a lesson I was going to do a long time ago. I finally got to it now, so it's not quite as impactful. But there's a lady, her name is Mel Robbins is her name. And she talks about how the mind works. And she teaches people to look for hearts, is what she says. She goes, do you see a lot of hearts throughout the day? I hardly see any hearts throughout the day. But she said it's amazing that if you start looking for something, you focus on that, you start seeing that everywhere. And she'll teach her clients and the people she talks to, hey, start looking for hearts. And it's amazing. Just like I started seeing a lot of Teslas, people started seeing a lot of hearts everywhere. Maybe on the ground, the way the water's shaped on the ground, the watermark. Or maybe there's a leaf or there's a rock or just something else you never would expect to see. But people start finding hearts. And so the lesson with all that is this, that whatever your mind focuses on is what you see. And so going back to this, so if you're able to see past your current self, you're able to focus on things beyond who you are right now or your situation right now, if you're able to focus on beyond that, then that is what your mind will work towards, and that's who you become. So see beyond your current self to the opportunity to become the best version of yourself.